inside the JMA Dome. It's Kitley and Latham with a tip, and it's controlled by Virginia Tech. And Georgia Amoore will take the ball up as we are underway. Again, great to have you along with us for the first of many excellent women's college basketball games today on the network. Early touch for Kitley. Her first shot is off the mark, and Georgia Wooley brings in the rebound. Look at the starting five for Syracuse. Dyaisha Fair, Elena Rice, Georgia Wooley. These were all players that were here last year. Alyssa Latham has been one of the more talented freshmen in the entire conference. Wood hands it off to Rice. Rice, tough shot and a tough make for Elena Rice. Graduate guard from Rockledge, Florida, averaging 11.5 per game. Look at the starting five for Virginia Tech. A lot of familiar faces there. 3 starters returning from last year's starting five. And early on, Kitley 0 for 2 from the field.
You see 2 times there, they're getting the ball into Kitley, but they're doing it in different ways, and we'll highlight throughout the broadcast. There are 5 or 6 different ways they try to get her the ball on the post.
Coach Kenny Brooks loves to get Kitley involved early on in games. Rice off the screen, Amoore flyby, and the shot off the back iron. Kitley reels it in.
Good ball movement for the Hokies, even though they haven't made those first 2 shots. They're a really good passing team. Offense is very fluid.
Once again, a touch to Kitley, double team coming. It's 0 for 3 start for Kitley here in the Dome. Helen, anything you're seeing from those first 3 shots?
No, she's just getting good shots. She's just off. They're wide open, and you see Fair, they're also getting a shot whenever she wants. Sometimes she does not, Kitley does not start off well, but she always finishes well. So as long as she's taking good shots, they're fine. 2
of the higher scoring teams in the conference here today. Both sides averaging 78 points per game. Matilda Ekh's first shot way off the mark there for 3. Certainly affected by Georgia Wooley.
Give Syracuse credit. They want to make sure that they don't allow Virginia Tech to get any open threes. They want to force them to shoot 2s.
Dyaisha Fair, the ball carrier, again, just eclipsed 3,000 career points. Latham, the trailer 3. Too strong. Ekh trying to find an outlet and ends up in the hands of Amoore.
Defensive transition is so important for Syracuse, and that's the one thing that they don't want is to allow a 3 in defensive transition.
Simply put, Georgia Amoore, one of the best scoring guards in the country. Putting up 17 a game as Fair gets bumped on her drive to the rim.
And there's what you're going to see for Virginia Tech. They're going to come down, and if you don't get in front of their face in defensive transition, you see here, hands down. She's so smart, reads the defense so well. And on that last play, you saw Fair. She's going to be able to get by the guards of Virginia Tech. They have length, but they're not as quick laterally.
Latham misses it all, but Rice is there. She gets fouled on a shot.
Rice, I think, is the X factor for Syracuse. She's been playing well, averaging about 11 points a game. And I think if Syracuse is going to go far, they're going to even need more from her.
Foul going against Georgia Amoore there, her first. See what Elena Rice did earlier this week. Put up 19 points in the win against Notre Dame, 8 rebounds as well, and 2 assists. You know, she decided to return to Syracuse, Helen, for her 3rd season, and it's been her best year yet. And one of the deciding factors for Elena coming back was, you know, she's played for Coach Rice now, and she's played for 4 different head coaches. And now she really enjoys playing under Coach Jack and has had a career year this year.
Freshman of the year in the MEAC at Florida A&M and then played at Auburn. It makes a difference in terms of confidence and how well you play. You know the stability's there. You know your coach believes in you, and it obviously is showing this year.
Yeah, consistency a big factor in that. Elena Rice and Syracuse out to an early 4-3 lead here. Scoring has been tough to come by in the early going. As Wood, the skip pass over to Wooley, back to the top.
You'll see Virginia Tech, they play really good team defense. They're in this zone. They try to keep some penetration in the middle.
Shot clock down to 5 and taken away. Georgia Amoore picks the pocket, and Amoore lays it up and in on the other end. Georgia Amoore with all 5 of her team's points here.
I think the defense for Virginia Tech is underrated. I mean, they're holding teams to 59 points a game, but people always talk about their offense, but I do think their defense is underrated.
Hokies 15-4 this year, 6-2 in ACC play. A couple of losses to Florida State and Duke, back-to-back. Amoore, yes, Georgia Amoore, 2 made threes here in the first quarter. She's got 48 makes on the year.
Dyaisha Fair's got to have more effort coming off that screen, get hands up than Amoore, so she can't take that shot.
Dyaisha Fair thought about the shot, puts it on the floor now. Rice, wide open, lets it fly in and out. Moore's halfway down into the hands of Kitley now. Syracuse averaging 7 made threes a game. The only problem is if you try to go head-to-head with Virginia Tech on 3-point shots, they might win that battle. They make about 9 a game.
See Virginia Tech these last couple of times. They're getting opportunities for Georgia Amoore.
Really traveled there.
She traveled, but that's how they're going to solve that. You see Fair getting into the middle of that zone and, having the defense suck up on her and giving Wooley an opportunity to get past the 3-point line.
Orange 0 for their last 6 from the floor. And first substitution for Syracuse here. Looks like Sanaya Wilson will enter. One of the 5 players that came over from Buffalo to follow Coach Alicia Leggett-Jack here to Syracuse.
Yeah, it's not just the players that want familiarity, it's the coaches as well.
Yeah. Now, we were talking to head coach Kenny Brooks before this game, and we're saying he's starting to give Georgia Amoore a lot more leeway to control the game if she can. This is the layup there. The follow from Kitley, step through, no good. Gets her own board. Amoore, top of the key. Cash! Georgia Amoore is on fire here in the first quarter.
There's rebounding. You got to find her wherever she is, whether it's in transition or half court.
Dyaisha Fair off the glass. Smooth stuff from Dyaisha Fair. Again, 21 points per game for the graduate student out of Rochester.
There's where she has the advantage. She can get to the hoop, get past her defender.
Amoore has all 11 of Virginia Tech's points here. Good pass to Carly Wenzel into the corner. Ekh open for 3. Yes! Virginia Tech here in the first frame is 4 for 6 from beyond the arc.
And that all started with Amoore. She knew they were trapping her, but she knew where the players were and knew the right pass to make. And they made the extra pass for the 3-point shot.
3 of the top 6 3-point shooters in the conference reside on this Virginia Tech team. Rice cut off on the baseline. Gets it out to Wooley. Difficult shot, foul on the floor. It's going to stay here with the orange. But man, oh man, Virginia Tech has been a bit discombobulated at times, but Georgia Amoore has picked up the slack. 4 for 6 shooting from beyond the arc as a team. Georgia Amoore has 11 of the team's 14 points in the early going.
Just doing it on both ends of the floor. She can play defense as well. Gets the layup here. But more importantly, she knows the right pass to make at the right time. The right decision coming off the screen. And here's the hockey assist coming out of the double team, making the right pass for the extra pass for Ekh for the 3-point shot. So, Sam, this is why she's so important and why they missed her when she went out of the Duke game and they played one game without her. They need her on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, referencing that head injury she sustained on January 18th against Duke. A wayward elbow got her square in the head and ended up missing one game. But that was it. And those 2 games, both losses for Virginia Tech, Duke and Florida State. Now she's back and healthier than ever, seemingly, with 11 points, 11 of the 14 coming from Georgia Amoore.
Syracuse is going to have to solve that 2-3 zone. The 2-3 zone of Virginia Tech. They are struggling with that. This is how they can get points. If they can play defense and get in transition, make it a little bit easier for them. They're going to take better care of the basketball, though.
Hand it right back. There's Wood's pass intended for Dyaisha Fair, but right over her head. Well, just talk a little bit more about this Syracuse team. What Coach Jack has built, in a year plus, really. Just got here, and all of a sudden, Syracuse out to a 17-2 start. It's their best opening in ACC play since they joined the conference nearly a decade ago. It's funny, too. The last time that Syracuse started 6-1 in conference play, Coach Jack was a guard on the team. Cayla King hits the three, and right now Virginia Tech can't miss from beyond the arc. They are now 5 for 7 to start this game, Helen.
Well, Coach Jack obviously played here, so she's going to be passionate about it. She's a passionate coach anyway, but certainly for her alma mater, she's going to make sure that she gets the best players here and put them in the best position to score. But they've got to solve that 2-3 defense.
It's a 14-2 run now by the Hokies. Syracuse can't buy a basket right now. They're 2 for 11 from the floor here. Wenzel, dribble drive, baseline, lays it up and in. Everything working for Virginia Tech. Harley Wenzel, the redshirt freshman out of San Antonio, Texas.
Well, you want to run Virginia Tech off the line, but you don't want them to get all the way to the basket. And you see other people scoring. You haven't heard from Liz Kitney for a while, but you don't need to. You have these people scoring. Finally, a three-point shot.
For Dyaisha Fair there. 21 points a game. That's her 70th made three of the season, Helen.
Well, watch the next time they're going to come out on her. Watch and see if she drives around her defender. Syracuse trying to push Virginia Tech way past the three-point line to start their offense, but that's the danger. You let Amoore drive to the basket.
Now, that's the other thing, too, about this Virginia Tech team that they have improved on. They don't settle for the threes because they have players that can beat you off the dribble drive now with Amoore and Wenzel, and Amoore extended the arm bar there. That's going to be her second. And it looks like Coach Kenny Brooks is going to bring in Matilda Ekh for Amoore here with 2 fouls.
And that'll move Wenzel to the point guard.
Ekh, a transfer from Michigan State, 2-year starter there for the Spartans. Just another three-point shooter that Coach Kenny Brooks added to the arsenal.
You can't play for him if you're not 6 feet tall as a guard and you shoot from threes.
Sophie Burrows off to Dyaisha Fair.
Burrows another three-point shooter.
There she is on the wing. Bit too strong there. Nearly an offensive rebound. Now taken away from behind. Wilson with the ball. Working on Pitley, but she walked. Too many steps and another turnover for the Orange. That's their 4th of the game.
So we'll look to see if Virginia Tech goes to Liz Kittley now with Amoore on the bench. We'll see if that's the focus of the offense. You've got Streck in there as well. They play really well together. They go high-low sometimes with the 2 big kids in there.
Wenzel looking for Kittley. Couldn't handle the pass. Bit too high. Back the other way. Dyaisha Fair. Wenzel spinning around her and turns it over, though. It was a pretty move, but the pass deflected.
See, Coach Jack was not happy with that. It's because all the players took their defenders in there and made it too congested.
Hokies 5 of the last 5 from the floor. This has been all Virginia Tech here. Easy positioning underneath for Kittley.
And you're going to see a lot of high-low when you see those two in the game. They play about 6.5 minutes per game together, but I asked Coach Kenny Brooks today if they would play more, and he thought it was a good matchup to play both of them more.
Fair trying to create space and an offensive foul. Coach Jack not happy about the call with the clock winding down. 1.2 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
And you see here, Fair just trying to make something happen. They're going to have to get more movement on their offense and not try to solve this 2-3 defense with just dribbling. They're going to need to pass and cut in the open spaces.
That'll do it for the first quarter. All Virginia Tech, 23-9 after the first period of play. Ended on a 20-to
dribble, so they have to put her in spaces where she can get open shots. A little bit more movement here finally against the 2-3.
Only 2 players scored in the first frame for Syracuse as Wood puts a shot up. That's no good. Follows up her own shot. Blocked from behind by Strack. Out of bounds, going to stay with the orange. But it was Fair with 5 points and Elena Rice with 4. That's it for Syracuse here.
You see the offensive rebound. That's what Syracuse is really good at. 17 a game. Both players have a quick second jump. You've got to make sure you put a body on them.
All the way back to Georgia Wooley here. Wooley, the second leading scorer on the team with 13.5 points a game. Rice gets to the elbow and drains the jumper.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there with Virginia Tech. Not taking Rice off the dribble and able to get the shot at the elbow, and now they try to slow it down and get a steal.
And the three falls for Dyaisha Fair, and just like that, the crowd right back in this thing.
This is why they are never out of the game, no matter how far down they are. They are resilient, and they play hard.
Nearly another takeaway. And again, Georgia Amoore still on the bench for Virginia Tech with 2 fouls as King's floater rings in and out. Falls into the hands of Clara Strack, who puts it up. That's no good. Out of bounds, Syracuse basketball.
Dyaisha Fair, she's going to get you points and she's going to get you buckets. You know it's going up. You see the defender coming. It does not matter. Able to hit the three-pointer.
Directing traffic while she's setting up her shot, too. Dyaisha Fair.
That's because she wants people to get out of the way. So she can
out of the way. Wooley with the crossover. Now steps through one and hits the floater.
She is the best of Syracuse is scoring in that mid-range off the bounce.
Missed the first couple of games with an injury, but has been a huge help over the last month in conference play for the Orange as Ekh open for 3 and the shots are falling here. 6 for 8 now for the Hokies, and Ekh has 2.
And this is normal for Virginia Tech. It's not, they are a very good passing team, and if defenders don't rotate fast enough, they're going to get those shots.
So Ekh with 2 made threes. Yeah, Amoore with 3.
Good job here, Virginia Tech, playing that screen on the ball, on the zone. Got to go quicker if you're Fair.
It'll be Hokie basketball as the possession arrow points the other way. All right, every Thursday we'll have a women's basketball doubleheader for you right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. And this week we got 2 great rivalry matchups. Number 19, Virginia Tech hosting UVA at 6 Eastern time. Then at 8, number 20, North Carolina taking on a very, very good NC State team. It'll be in Raleigh at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Virginia Tech winning the game against NC State earlier this year by 1 point, 63-62, on a last-second made layup by Liz Kitley. Skip pass, quick trigger from King. Syracuse 3 of the last 3, make it 4 of the last 4 from the floor. And a little bit of a run here for the Orange to get back in this thing in the second quarter.
Yeah, this is what I mean by resilience. You see how the offense, it doesn't necessarily stall when Amoore is out, but it's a little slower and they take a little bit longer to make decisions on their options.
King fakes the pass, takes the shot, and hits the 3.
So underrated. We talk about Kitley and Amoore, and it's almost as if King doesn't exist, but she's the glue to this team, a really important part of their offense and their defense.
The Hokies to top the country in made threes per game. We said it earlier, about 9 makes per game as a team. They've already got 7. Georgia Wooley with the answer, though, this time. That's starting to get her going. 5 points in the game for Georgia Wooley.
The question is, how long do you leave Amoore on the bench? Do you try to ride out this second quarter or not?
Oh, they can't miss right now, Helen. They can't miss.
Ekh has brought such a different dynamic to this team, although it's a very good three-point shooting team. She's so confident, and they look for her, and she's got a quick trigger.
Matilda Ekh, 9 points now, 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Rice with a baseline drive. Wooley, corner 3. And she hits it as well. Got hit on the way down, no whistle. Georgia Wooley with 8 points. And we are just trading baskets right now inside the JMA Dome. You know, it's interesting, Helen. You hear visiting teams come here and they say, it's one of the tougher places to shoot because of the distance behind the basket. That just hasn't been the case for Virginia Tech their last 2 trips to the Dome. Fair, nice dump off to Wilson.
See, now you see Syracuse, and you play good defense. You can go in offensive transition in the fast break. You don't have to worry about the defensive transition of the other team, and you can penetrate a little bit more. You can probe a little bit more.
6-point lead for the Hokies. Summiel for 3. That's short.
I thought Liz Kitley should have taken that there. She had an opportunity in the lane.
Here's Dyaisha Fair with the handle. Sam hits the baseline jumper.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. She can get in she can probe and get in those spaces in transition.
Now 9th all-time in Division I with 3,095 career points. Crowd on their feet. Hokies lead has dwindled to 4. Double team coming off of King. Now down to Kitley. Quick shot, no good. Wood with the board.
They were down 23-9, Sam. Only down by 4 points now, and it's because of their defense.
Whistle going against Ekh. Syracuse will have the ball when we return, but how about the run? A 7-0 run for Syracuse. They are 8 of 8 from the floor over the last...
That they were having difficulty in that first quarter because they weren't moving the ball as well in half-court offense.
You saw that graphic there we put up. Syracuse has had a knack of coming from behind in games this season and winning, as Burrow's 3 is too strong. But trailed by as many as 14 at the end of the first quarter. It was 23-9. And now it is a 4-point basketball game. Top 25 matchup here inside the Dome.
So we've got a lot of substitutions in here for Virginia Tech. We got Baker who can shoot threes. Trying to get some more offense here.
Harris Baker's first attempt from the floor is no good. Back the other way. Nifty pass to Wooley. Scoops it up, misses the shot. Claire Strack with the rebound, fighting through some white jerseys. Again, Georgia Amoore still on the bench, leading scorer for Virginia Tech with 2 fouls.
You've got the vets, Summiel and King on the floor, so where do they go with the offense?
Wenzel fouled on the way up. She'll head to the stripe for 2. As Liz Kitley is set to check back into the game. It has not been Liz Kitley's afternoon just yet, Helen. 2 points for the All-American.
Well, they started off, obviously, with Amoore doing really well. Didn't really need her, but you can bet you come back at halftime, there'll be a strategy to get her the basketball some more.
So 2 free throws coming for Carly Wenzel. Redshirted last year, but was enrolled in school and working out with the team. Learned a lot. And has been tasked with some point guard roles this year, specifically when Amoore's in some foul trouble like she is now, and Wenzel able to hit them both.
Typical first-year player. They give it, then they take it away. So you hope she gives more than she gives away.
Latham off the heel there, and there's Kitley. All right, so what's changed for Virginia Tech now as the offense has started to slow in the second quarter?
Well, if Amoore's not in there, they don't run as fluid. They take a little bit longer to make decisions. You know where you want to go. Obviously, they're into Kitley. But when that's not there, what else can you do? And right. Amoore makes such great decisions on the next steps. And they're struggling with that right now. And obviously, if Kitley were to hit some shots, it would make it better for them.
Rice lets it fly. Short. There's Wenzel. Virginia Tech picked as the preseason favorites in the ACC ahead of this season. Won the ACC tournament last year for the first time in program history. Kitley just doesn't have that touch here today. There's Kitley. It's 1 for 9 now from the field. Latham rattles one home. First points of the game for the talented freshman, Alyssa Latham, at Glenwood, Illinois.
She's one of the posts that can shoot more from the outside, 12 to 15 feet. She can shoot 3. She's only taken 3 this year, but opens it up a little bit.
King off a screen, no good, and all of a sudden the Hokies a bit quiet from beyond the arc now. Dyaisha Fair looks down, misses the three. Wanted to check the feet, make sure they were behind the line.
And you've got to find her as well in transition, just like you do Amoore.
Connection just not there right now. Interior passing, trying to get it into Liz Kitley. A lot of those shots that Kitley's taken, too, are fadeaways.
Well, they're trying different ways to get her the basketball. She's just off here in this first half, but still got to take those shots.
Dyaisha Fair, 10 points in the game for Syracuse. They trail by 4 here at home. Place they've had so much success this season, a perfect 11-0 record for Syracuse inside the Dome this year.
Good defense there by King to not let Rice get into the middle of the zone.
Fair dumps one down to Rice, and she makes the layup. What vision for Dyaisha Fair.
Oh, she's smart. She's seen that back line on the weak side come up several times and finally had an opportunity to take advantage of it here in a half-court offense.
Down to a 2-point basketball game. Kitley, double team comes. Wenzel will try. Way off the mark. And a jump ball underneath. A little extracurriculars following there. Possession arrow points to the Orange.
Syracuse is going to play hard. You've got to match that energy possession for possession. I don't think Virginia Tech is doing that.
20 seconds left to go in the half, and Syracuse with a chance to tie or take the lead into the locker room. Rice, pass underneath, Woods, shot is blocked. Kitley hit on the head. 10.4 to go as Kitley was fouled on the rebound.
Yeah, that back line keeps coming up. You see them trying to take advantage of it here, even though Wood missed the shot. That's the second time that's happened. Virginia Tech has got to address that at halftime, what to do on that weak side forward in the zone.
Nobody in the bonus, so the Hokies will take it out underneath. And Georgia Amoore coming back into the game here.
Obviously an offensive substitution.
And look where they're sending Georgia Amoore, all the way down to the other end of the floor. Wenzel will bring it up with 10.4.
Obviously going to try to drive and kick if they can.
Wenzel will take it all the way to the rim and score. That'll do it for the first half from the Dome.
The rest of her teammates are not capable. It's just they don't have the maturity and the experience to make the decisions.
King's three is short, and back the other way comes Elena Rice in Syracuse. Wooley, a dribble, step back, lets it fly. That's also short.
I would expect the Syracuse to get Rice involved a little bit more here in the second half as well.
Sumiel open, top of the key, in and out. They are trying to get Liz Kitley a little bit more involved here. That was kind of the message from Penny Brooks. They want to go to her early. Kitley just 1 of 9 from the floor in that first half.
Certainly never count her out. She just needs to see a couple go through the basket, and she can get on a tear.
Rice on the drive-by. Gets it off to Wood, who spins into traffic. Follows it up, though. No whistle.
Well, the crowd wanting a foul there, but it was just good defense. That's too long of a pass. They're lucky on that one. Way too long of a pass for somebody like Dyaisha Fair on the weak side.
Foul on Georgia Wooley there. It was a late whistle as Ekh hit the deck.
Look at all that time.
I don't know how.
That looked like her teammate knocked her down.
It looks like some friendly fire there. Kitley skip pass to the corner. Good ball movement here. And a foul on the drive as Elena Rice stuck the hand in there. That's her second. Hokie ball underneath. So nobody has scored here in the first minute and a half of the third quarter. After basically every shot was falling in the first half. Ekh off the screen, the three's blocked. Fair skip pass to Wood. Summy a little late, and another block. Cayla King driving, goes all the way through. George Amoore will kick it to the corner, back to King. And a backcourt violation. A little discombobulated here for Virginia Tech to start. There's Coach Kenny Brooks' reaction.
Well, you give Syracuse credit for their activity on defense. He is pretty calm over there, sitting on the chair. But you have to be if you want your team to be.
It's about 10 steals per game for Syracuse. They cause havoc on the defensive end. A nice dump off. And taken away by Ekh, though. 3-on-2 for the moment. The trailer three. King, no good. Sumio with the offensive board.
There's where she's been great for Virginia Tech on the boards, giving him second opportunities.
King was asking for a foul. There's another second chance opportunity. Amoore too strong. King with a follow, and she gets bumped. Cayla King will go to the free throw line to shoot two, but the three's not falling for the Hokies here, at least to start the second half.
But if you're Syracuse, you don't want them to get that many opportunities at the basket. The team here gets tripped. We talked with Coach Brooks about Sumio being the X factor, and you see there the 2 offensive rebounds that she got, giving him other opportunities. Her defense is way ahead of her offense in terms of integration into the team, but she's very important to Virginia Tech.
Kennedy Perkins, the sophomore guard out of Bolingbrook, Illinois, is set to check in for Syracuse for Elena Rice. Cayla King has talked about it too, Helen, kind of the X factor for this team.
Yeah, just no one really, not that they don't talk about her, but when you think of Virginia Tech, you think of Amoore and you think of Liz Kitley, but Coach Brooks calls her the glue to this team. You know, fifth-year senior, knows everything that he wants, can direct traffic on the floor for the other players on defense.
Misses both free throws. Nobody has scored yet in this third quarter. The same score that we had at the half as Wooley will go to the line with a chance at an and-one opportunity.
She's hit a couple threes today, but there's where she is at her best. In the mid-range, off the dribble, getting into the meat of that zone at the elbow, and no one picking her up until it was too late.
And Wooley converts at the line. She has started to find a rhythm offensively over the last 2 games. Had 12 points and 9 boards against Notre Dame in the win on Thursday.
She's definitely picked up her rebounding for Syracuse. I was about to say Buffalo. She doesn't go to school there anymore.
Down low, Kitley fading away once again. That's shortless. Kitley 1 for 10 from the field here in this one. She's only got 2 points.
And most of her misses have been short on that fadeaway.
Kitley over the back. No, instead it's going to be called on Wilson. It certainly looked like Kitley had positioning there, but the call goes against Sanaya Wilson.
The official called a hold. I guess that's what they called, or that left hand on the left arm. I mean, she's 6'5". You got to do something. Hope they don't see it.
And Virginia Tech now with 2 6'5" players, with the addition of Clara Strack, freshman out of Buffalo. Little homecoming for her, not on the floor right now. Amoore, feed off to Kitley. Just doesn't have it right now. Fair, off balance shot, no good. Sumio with the board. Ekh, transition three, and she hits. Matilda Ekh, 40% three-point shooter. She has made 46 threes on the year now.
And she is really good at sizing up the defense and deciding when and where to take that shot.
Wooley wide open for three. It's off the mark, and Ekh has the rebound. How do they get Kitley maybe more comfortable there in the low post?
Well, they've got 4 or 5 different ways. I haven't really seen them do an up screen for her because that usually works for them. They've been doing cross screens or going directly into the post. Maybe want to try that.
Amoore wide open down the lane. The left-handed layup is good for Georgia Amoore. Her first points since the first quarter. She had 13 points in the first.
That two-person game, too, is another way that they could get Kitley open, but Georgia Amoore made the right decision going straight to the basket off the screen on the ball.
Some of y'all might have gotten poked in the eye there on the rebound. All right, here's Tuesday's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader. Syracuse and Boston College at 7 Eastern time. And Clemson hosts Louisville at Littlejohn Coliseum at 9 Eastern time. Syracuse men got a big win here at home last night. Coach Boeheim was in attendance as well. So Virginia Tech in the bonus now with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Fouls have started to rack up on Syracuse's ledger. Simio's free throw rattles home.
So with that being the case, maybe you'll see more screens on the ball to try to get to the free throw line for Syracuse to play that.
Simio buries them both. Olivia had 12 points against Georgia Tech. It was her first double-figure scoring game since New Year's Eve. A little quiet 7-0 run for the Hokies here over the last minute. Kennedy Perkins puts it on the floor, lays it off to Wilson, edges, and finishes. That's a good pump fake there for Shania Wilson. So Wilson ends the 7-0 run and will finish at the free throw line when we return. It's 43-37 in this top 25 duel in Syracuse.
Peanut butter and bacon may seem crazy to you, but this...
Similarly, they're really good, both good X's and O's coaches, so I'm not surprised this game is the way that it is because of the way they coach their teams.
Wilson missed the and one opportunity there. Georgia Amoore calling out a play here as she crosses half court.
So they're looking for her. Liz was telling her to pass it to the wing so she could get that seal.
And King tripped by Kennedy Perkins as she was trying to turn the corner. First foul on Perkins here in this one. Virginia Tech shooting the rest of the way, though, here in this quarter. Cayla King at the free throw line. She went 0 for 2 in her first time at the stripe. 0 for 3. Cayla King on the season hasn't taken too many free throws. Coming into this game, she'd only taken 8 this year.
She's normally a three-point shooter. You don't see her drive to the basket very often to get that opportunity to get to the line.
44-37 here inside the Dome. Helen Williams, Sam Ravitch on hand with you. This top 25 matchup. First quarter was all Hokies. Second quarter, the Orange came back, made it interesting. That's a foul going against Liz Kitley. That's her second.
Yeah, I fell asleep there a little bit. Able to get Wilson the ball there. I guess she got her on the hand.
So Wilson back to the free throw line. This time 2 attempts coming. Liz Kitley again, 1 for 11 from the floor. Just 2 points for the All-American. Does have 8 rebounds. Still contributing in any way that she can. But 2 personal fouls now as well is something to keep an eye on. Georgia Amoore has carried the load here for this one. 15 points Ekh also has 12. That's a nice dump off to Kitley, but a good closeout. Summiel, 3 falls from the corner.
She has mastered that baseline three-pointer off the penetration this entire season. Very much so the last few games for Summiel.
That's now 10 threes in the game for the Hokies. Kitley wisely holds on to that one.
Well, you can see they're making a concerted effort, Virginia Tech, to get her the basketball, and that was just a smart decision on her part to kick it out to Summiel.
So Kennedy Perkins will take it out. Wooley, pull-up jumper. So good in that mid-range, isn't she?
That's her strength for sure, and she's 6 feet, so she can shoot over people off that last dribble.
Wooley shooting just 24% from beyond the arc this year, but coaches said that she is finding different ways to contribute and has really perfected that mid-range game. Summiel rattles off into the hands of Wooley. 6-point lead for Virginia Tech. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Wooley driving and fouled. Somehow gets it to go. And also, that's the third foul on Liz Kitley.
Yeah, that wasn't a very smart foul by Kitley. Should have just kept her hands up. She starts to go for the steal here. And that's just, not very smart on her part.
Just has not been the day for Liz Kitley here, who hasn't been able to get it going. I mean, it's been a lot of fadeaway shots, uncomfortable. Amoore dribbles through the paint. Ekh, jumper falls. And Matilda Ekh now with 14 points on the game, second leading scorer on the team.
You mostly see her shoot threes, but she does have that in her arsenal at the elbow off the dribble.
Perkins, same shot on the other end, will fall, but Wilson with the follow. No good, and a whistle. A lot of contact there. Summiel got bumped in the face. Foul goes against Matilda Ekh.
That's 9 offensive rebounds by Virginia Tech.
So 6-point game here. As remind you that our next gymnastics meet right here on the ACC network and the ESPN app Friday night. NC State squaring off against number 24 Clemson at Little John Coliseum. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern time.
Have you done gymnastics?
You know what? I actually did gymnastics growing up, but I have never commentated on a gymnastics game. Although I think every kid does gymnastics, right? I mean, goes to tumble classes.
Or what they would call gymnastics, yes. So Syracuse halfway to their average in offensive rebounds here in this third quarter.
It's a good rebound by Strack there coming in for Liz Kitley, who's on the bench with 3 fouls and 2 points in the game.
So with Kitley out, you expect Georgia Amoore to be a little bit more aggressive offensively.
Amoore dribbles through the zone. Left-handed layup is good. She can carve up the zone with the best of them with her handles.
Oh, she's so patient when she probes. She's not in a hurry. She just waits for the defense to give her something.
Amoore up to 17 points, 7 for 10 from the field today.
Speaking of which, we need to see Fair. Hadn't seen her in a while scoring.
That's a wild pass there for Kennedy Perkins. Left her feet. Nowhere to go. Harley Wenzel back into the game for Matilda Ekh, who will get a rest. Ekh has had a great game with 14 points. Made 4 threes in this game for Virginia Tech as well. What's interesting in this game, we talked about the leading scorers off the top of the show. Amoore has certainly done her part, but Dyaisha Fair, you're used to seeing her up near the 20-point mark. She's at 10 right now.
Well, don't be surprised. Coach Jack just took her out the rest of this quarter. I can guarantee you she's going to heat up in the fourth quarter.
Amoore fading away from the free throw line, and Georgia has 19 in the game.
Just so smart, taking whatever the defense gives her. Never in a hurry.
That's an arm bar on Summiel. 2 shots coming for Syracuse. Kyra Wood talking to Coach Leggett Jack over there. It's so interesting, the relationship that Coach has built with, her players over the course of the last year and a half, really. But, what she means to this program is shown on the floor. I mean, her record at Syracuse, 37-15. I mean, that's a 71% winning percentage.
I'm not surprised. I mean, she is that good, and her players love her. She tells them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, but she's a very passionate coach, loves to teach her kids about life, and it translates to how they play for her on the floor.
I mean, it was all but a foregone conclusion that when this job opened up, that Coach Felicia Leggett Jack would be getting this job. And it has certainly worked out in the early going. Out of bounds. Let's see who it will stay with.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that said they would be nuts not to hire her.
Yeah.
But she just loves the game, and she loves coaching. Kids play hard for her. I talked to her yesterday, and she goes, "Helen, I know about the X's and O's, but I coach energy and I coach passion and attitude, and the X's and O's take care of themselves."
Amoore's floater is in and out. Cayla back in the game. Got to be careful here with 3 fouls. Yeah, up there in the rafters. A women's basketball player with her jersey retired here.
For some people that would put pressure, they would feel pressure coming in, coaching with your jersey in the rafters, but she's just really confident in what she has the ability to do, and she's obviously built programs before, so I'm, again, not surprised that they are where they are.
She has the Orange out to their best start in a decade as Rice is fouled on a drive here.
So Virginia Tech struggling now with playing the mid-range game. Syracuse, they're getting into the teeth of that zone by the ACC, and they're forcing the Hokies to make choices they don't want to make.
Trying to search for some answers as well on the scoring end. It's funny, Virginia Tech scored more than half of their points for the game in the first quarter. They scored 23 points in the first quarter. That's almost half. I mean, that's pretty crazy stuff.
Well, it's more difficult for them to get wide open threes when Liz Kitley's not scoring inside, because you have to make a choice of whether or not you want to double team her, or just play straight up. And Syracuse has not had to make that choice so far today.
Okay, Coach Jack will get some shooters in here with Sophie Burrows checking in. Freshman from Victoria, Australia. Full court pressure set up by the Orange. Inbounds to Amoore with 35 seconds to go in the third. Six-point lead.
Watch for the pick and pop here. They're going to play Amoore because he's been going to the basket, but don't be surprised if Kitley pops.
Amoore, long 2. Oh! Georgia Amoore drills the jumper. She's now north of 20 points. Back on the other end, Burrows steps inside for the jumper. That's missed. And let's see. That'll be the end of the quarter or not. That'll be the end of... Syracuse will start with the ball here in the fourth. And they have made some comebacks this year. They'll need one in the fourth. Wooley, open for 3. Short. That would have gotten this place riled up to start the fourth quarter if that had gone in.
Well, this is an easy one. They're only down by 8. So.
They've had a couple of double-digit comebacks this year. 3 comebacks of 10 or more points, including a 19-point and an 18-point one. That's a good set play to get Liz Kitley going. Just her second made field goal of the game.
Now that was, I mentioned, you asked me in that first half how they could get the ball to her. They finally did an upstream for her. Did a good job of execution there.
Got fouled by Georgia Wooley on the other end. That's her second personal foul.
You see here, nice job on defense.
Kitley out to set the screen. Sumiel had it taken away, but a foul.
That's unfortunate because you had Liz Kitley dive into the basket again. Got to be stronger with the basketball, but Syracuse doing a great job of just taking her space away.
That's the third foul on Simiel here in this one. Might see some more of Clara Strack. 6'5", freshman from Buffalo come in. Dyaisha Fair at a quiet third quarter. Jump stop, puts it up short. Wood with the O board. Rice drives baseline, lays it up and in with the right. Lena Rice with 12 points in the game.
Yeah, just a smart play because you know Kitley's not going to foul. She did not want to get her fourth foul.
Rice has really stepped up for this team when they need her this year. Amoore. Bounce pass to Kitley, and that's a foul on Kitley, her fourth personal foul of the game. Just couldn't handle the pass and then committed the foul.
Just Kitley having an off night. You know, she's rebounding for sure, but just not there offensively. And now with the fourth foul, she's got to sit down.
All right, so when's the next time we'll see Liz Kitley in this game? I mean, there's 8:21 to go in the game. She's only got one foul to play with.
Certainly not going to see her anytime soon. I wouldn't expect to see her before the 3-minute mark.
And the foul on the other end going against Cayla King. That's her second. The foul's starting to add up here. Already 3 fouls against Virginia Tech here, and we're just starting the fourth. Wooley nearly lost the handle. Falls away. There's Wood again. Rice. Oh, good. That was a wide open lane for Elena Rice.
Wood and Latham are so quick to the offensive boards. They just, as freshmen, they've got to learn to get their balance after they catch that, get that rebound, and then go straight up with it.
9 offensive rebounds for the Orange here in this one. Amoore trying to create space. Shot clock winding down at 5. Amoore tripped up by Elena Rice.
Look how low she gets on the dribble at the end of the shot clock. I mean, she is look at below the waist of Rice and gets tripped up there.
Crowd doesn't love it.
They don't, but she did trip her.
To be expected. Here's Amoore coming off the screen, top of the key, lets it fly. Off the heel there, and Rice elevates for the rebound. Fair, floater, got fouled, and the basket. Here comes Dyaisha Fair.
Well, in transition, that's where she is at her best. You cannot hold her off the dribble. She's just going to probe and get to that space where she can get her shot off.
Dyaisha Fair, over the span of 1 week, went from 16th to 10th on the all-time D1 women's basketball scoring list. She's now at 9 after scoring 10 points in this game. And she hits the and one opportunity.
Coach Jack says her name is 3K from now on in.
Crowd coming alive here inside the dome. 5-point game. Ekh down the lane. Left-handed layup, no good, and Strack, second chance opportunity, puts it home. The freshman from Buffalo has some family in attendance here today.
And she's going to be really good. Sometimes she looks like a carbon copy of Liz Kitley down there in the post. But certainly improved very much throughout the course of this season, gotten more time. So now Syracuse is going to be at the line. I would expect them, especially Dyaisha Fair, to try to probe and penetrate and get some more fouls driving to the basket.
So Syracuse shooting the rest of the way here with nearly 7 minutes to go in the game. A lot of fouls early in the fourth quarter. Wilson hits the first. Thursday, 10 Eastern time, after our women's basketball doubleheader, Nothing But Net crew will break down the night that was in the ACC. Highlights, analysis of every women's basketball game, and a look ahead of the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. That's coverage you can only find one place right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Wants Virginia Tech to be a little bit more wide open here. See if you get some penetration and some threes off the penetration.
Georgia Amoore leading all scorers with 21, splits a couple of defenders, hands it off to King for three, and it's good.
They just spread out the defense there and let Georgia Amoore go to work.
Back on the other end, can the Orange answer? Rice looking for help. Dyaisha Fair one-on-one with Cayla King.
You got to get the ball out of her hands. Nice pass.
Wilson couldn't handle it, too hot. Pass from Wood. It's interesting watching Georgia Amoore because, yes, of course she can score, and sometimes she can serve as just a pure distraction. I mean, she just brings players with her and opens up so many other opportunities.
Very similar in that for her and for Dyaisha Fair.
Fair looking to push. Wooley driving on Amoore. Now Fair, step back three. Off the heel, and a whistle underneath. A lot of contact.
Fair having to shoot over the long arms of the 6-foot guards for Virginia Tech.
Going against Wilson.
She grabbed her arm there.
That was like the same exact whistle that she got whistled for against Kitley earlier in the game.
I'll find a way to do that, not in front of the officials.
This has been the Georgia Amoore Matilda Ekh show. As Amoore hands it off to Strack, who's blocked by Latham. Loose ball, who's going to come up with it? A jump ball, possession arrow to the Hokies.
Latham is going to be a really good player. Just great hops, can play in space, good defender. Just needs time under her belt.
It was funny, too. Coach Leggett Jack talking about Alyssa Latham, saying, I don't coach her like a freshman. I coach her like the player she wants to become. King, open for three. Too strong there, and Fair ends up with it.
You need to pick up Fair early, but she's so shifty with the balls. It's difficult to do that.
Lost the handle there. Here's Latham on the low post. Working on Strack. Latham behind the backboard there. 6'5" frame. Certainly deflected that shot. They will step aside. 62-54 is our score as we hit the under 5. We got a good one in the dome.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom.
To upset Virginia Tech, but they got some work to do, Helen.
Yeah, they've got some work to do. Got some only down by 8. Plenty of time. This is the time you would expect to see Dyaisha Fair come on and do her thing. Sometimes they might set her up, but most of the time she does it on her own. Coach Jack said it's a luxury to just tell her, hey, go get a bucket and not have to set up things.
Fair, high pass to Wood, and one.
So there, she plays the same role that Georgia Amoore has been playing for Virginia Tech. Everybody's got to get on her and serves as a distraction, if you will. And that back line for Virginia Tech this entire game has been so vulnerable. And Coach Jack talked about that in practice yesterday. So kudos to whoever the scout was for Syracuse. They've been picking on that back line the entire game.
Syracuse trailing by 5. 4:45 to go. That was also the third foul on Claire Strack. Kitley on the bench with 4 fouls. Amoore leading all scorers with 21 points. That's a kick. Dyaisha Fair got the leg out. Shot clock will reset back to 20. Syracuse has played so well here at home, 11-0 this season inside the dome as Amoore knifes through a couple of defenders, gets the ball back out on the wing with 7 on the clock. Amoore for 3. Off the mark.
Syracuse very fortunate there because Wood was slow to come out to contest that shot. That's normally a shot you'll see Amoore make.
Chance for Syracuse to make this a one-possession basketball game here.
We said off camera we expected it to be a close game.
Both these teams averaging 78 points per game. Not sure we'll reach that mark as Fair misses the jumper. Off-balance shot there. Liz Kitley waiting to check back in.
We'll see a lot of screens for Amoore. Just trying to free her, make some decisions.
Underneath, Strack, had it blocked. Somiel ends up with it. Shot clock not reset, down to 10. Amoore gets down the lane. The layup no good, and Cayla Wood with the rebound.
Well, there's where Strack's got to get stronger.
Blocked from behind by Strack.
They're making up for it on the other end there. Just a great opportunity for her to score. She's got to get stronger. 6'5", makes up for it on the other end.
And now Strack heads to the bench as Liz Kitley comes back out on the floor with 4 fouls. It has not been the day for the All-American. Liz Kitley with a total of 4 points, 2 of 12 shooting from the floor.
But you still go with her if you're Virginia Tech.
In the corner, King hits the triple. Coach Jack is furious right now. And Coach Jack is halfway on the floor right now because of this no call. Amoore leaned right into Georgia Wooley, and there was no foul on the call. Now, you see players do that quite a bit. We'll discuss that on the other side of the break. But as it stands right now, it's a 65-57 Virginia Tech lead.
We want it all. We want beards and lattes.
The threes have been falling for Virginia Tech. 12 of 28. They are shooting at 43% from beyond the arc. Georgia Wooley leading the way with a double-double on the other end for the Orange. But Dyaisha Fair with the basketball now, Helen. Got to figure she's going to play a role down the stretch.
Definitely going to have the ball in her hands for sure.
Georgia Wooley instead, double team coming, finds an open Latham underneath, but misses the point-blank shot.
And collective breath held by Virginia Tech people thinking that they were going to get a foul on Liz Kitley.
Physicality in this game has certainly ratcheted up a notch, as that was a hard foul on the open floor. Cayla King took a stumble. Talk about the productivity for Cayla King today, though. Just hit that corner 3, Helen. I mean...
But it's been quiet.
It has.
Right? It's been quiet, but it's been on target when they need it. And that's, when Coach Brooks said she's the glue of the team, I don't think enough people talk about her, but he knows how important she is to be on the floor for them.
Less than 24 hours after Liz Kitley announced that she would be returning for her 5th season, Virginia Tech Hokie fans had more to celebrate when it was announced that Cayla King would also be returning. And those two, of course, have their history going back and playing high school basketball together.
2 state championships in high school.
Greensboro, North Carolina, and Northwest Guilford High School. And they're trying to get back to a Final Four and maybe even further this year.
Last year was just an incredible experience for Virginia Tech. I got to do those games in the first and second round. That crowd was unbelievable for the tournament, and now they're getting unbelievable crowds just for regular season.
All right, so after a long pause, we figured out the foul situation there. Went against Cayla Wood. Hokie basketball, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. This is a huge defensive possession here for the Orange. In the corner, Ekh, in and out, tipped away. Fair Fair trips over her teammate Wilson. They're both still on the floor. Ekh underneath to Kelly, and she lays it in.
Well, Fair's been a little gimpy here the last couple of minutes in this fourth quarter. Hope she's okay.
Fair and Wilson both collided off of the tipped rebound.
She was limping a little bit before this. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Fair hoists a three and hits. How about that? Wasting no time, making a 7-point game.
Well, you can never count that kid out.
Need another stop here. Amoore going to take some time.
Everything's about screen on the ball for Amoore and let her operate, see what she comes up, see what the defense gives her.
If you're Syracuse, at what point do you start fouling? As Amoore floats one up and in, well, might start considering it a little earlier now.
Absolutely.
Back to a 9-point game. Fair, top of the key, three. Off to the right.
You have to make sure if you're Virginia Tech that you get the rebound because you know those shots are going up. They're going to be long rebounds.
And Wooley commits the foul. It's been physical between both of them here in this one.
Well, Syracuse is a physical team, but, you know, they play the right way. They don't do anything dirty, but they are definitely very physical. You're going to feel them at the end of the game.
What a game for Georgia Amoore here when she didn't have her partner in crime, Liz Kitley, playing the way that she normally does. Georgia Amoore putting the team on her back. Now 24 points. 24. And again, you know, this was a week and a half ago. She sustained a pretty significant concussion, it appears. Well, three is no good, and desperation time now. Kitley tangled up with Wilson there, who commits the foul.
Yeah, well, they struggled, but you had King and Ekh who sort of held the fort while she was out, and when obviously Kitley didn't have a great game offensively today.
So Liz Kitley at the free throw line. You know, a preseason All-American or an All-American honors last season. She's averaging 23 points per game, and that just kind of summarizes the day that has been for Liz. She's averaging north of 25 points per game in ACC play alone. She's been in double figure scoring every single game this year, and that will come to an end here today.
You have games like that, you just have to play through it and contribute however you can.
As Rice rattles one home and a timeout called by Coach Jack. And we will step aside for a quick 30 seconds as we have under a minute to go here in this one. Virginia Tech with a comfortable 9-point lead.
When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge...
High as Dyaisha Fair takes it away. Hands it over to Rice, who misses the point-blank shot.
Somebody's got a foul.
And finally, Georgia Amoore with a reach-in. Kind of exaggerated a little bit, but nevertheless. And also, by the way, the standings, we just saw them. North Carolina is trailing UVA right now, 72-64.
UVA they've been coming slowly but surely. They're going to be a good team. Coach Monk's got them playing really well.
There's a chance after today you could see a three-way tie atop the ACC standings as Amoore finishes some more at the free throw line. 73-62, an 11-point lead. Rice, no good. Out of bounds, and Hokie basketball. So that will probably all but do it, as the Hokies will likely get a win on the road here. We got a timeout called on the floor.
But supposed to take the ball down at his end, out of bounds, on the side.
I mean, look, Helen, if you're able to put together this type of production without a player like Liz Kitley performing the way that she's performing, I got to imagine that gives you some confidence. I mean, this is the first game this season that she hasn't been in double figures.
Well, they've been tested twice now. She hasn't had a very good game today, and then they obviously went without Amoore for one game, and I asked Coach earlier, I said, who has surprised you, because you've had to play some people that you haven't played, and he said, I'm not surprised. Everybody's shown flashes, so in a way, this is good for them to get them, ready. Other people stepping up.
Here's what the Hokies have coming their way. They will take on that dangerous Virginia team that you just mentioned is starting to play the right way under Coach Mox there. That'll be on the ACC Network Thursday night. And then they hit the E2 on February 4th against North Carolina. It's a tough stretch here. A couple of ranked games at North Carolina State, who no doubt will be looking for some revenge after Virginia Tech beat them by 1 at home earlier this year. And then we'll see Duke, who they lost to earlier this season as well.
I'm sure they're looking forward to that game at home.
About 27 seconds left in the game. Inbounds to Amoore. Got fouled by Georgia Wooley, who was banged up in this one.
We talked about Syracuse being physical. She's going to be in an ice bath after the game today.
So Amoore back to the line, but we mentioned it. 11 straight wins here inside the Dome for Syracuse, looking like it's going to come to an end. And you really have to go back to last season. They've won 15 straight inside the Dome, dating back to last February. So a loss here for Syracuse. A team that has had and has gotten off to their best start in a decade. What does that mean for them?
Well, you got to go back to the drawing board. I mean, they struggled against that zone. They played really well against the player-to-player defense. They just could not get it going early enough, and then they contained Dyaisha Fair. I mean, she only had 13 points today, which is pretty good defense from a player like that.
It certainly was. Georgia Amoore with the ball, watches the clock wind down. 29 points for Georgia Amoore to lead all scorers. Had a huge game with 4 rebounds and 3 assists as well. Was not the day for the All-American Liz Kitley. But Virginia Tech, for their first road win against a top 25 opponent this season. Your final thoughts, Helen?
Virginia Tech had some resilience today against some adversity, and Syracuse got to play against